Welcome to another round of Round the Grounds at the Common Ground Education Center in Unity. It's May 22nd and we're here to demonstrate some top working of this apple tree. Top working is done to correct or to change over a variety when you discover the variety you currently have is not what you want. So we're going to show you some simple techniques and alternative products to change over this tree. We're going to let Laura Seeger step in and hope you enjoy this video.
So the timing for top working, grafting onto existing trees, can start around when the buds start breaking open and go until about full bloom. And right now we're still at the pink stage mostly for these apple trees in Unity. Most of the apples have not opened to full blossom yet. So we're going to graft onto this Charette tree today. Well, that is supposed to be a Charette but isn't. There must have been a mix-up in the scionwood, or it might be the rootstock, but there were small yellow apples, not the large red that Charette actually is. So we have some scionwood from Sandy River Orchard from some old trees that definitely are correct and that they are Charette. And so we're going to put that onto this tree here, and we're going to graft up high onto these trees because we have some deer browse in this orchard on the fairgrounds. So we're going to put a graft up here on the main trunk and 3 smaller grafts here. We're going to leave these bottom limbs as nurse limbs so that they can photosynthesize through this season while the grafts are just getting going.
What type of graft?
So we're going to do bark grafts on all of these. The old tradition was to do a cleft graft, which you would split the center apart of either of these, push a wedge in so it's split in half, and put 2 scions matching up the cambium. But it does a little less damage to do a bark graft. Take your grafting knife, which is a single beveled knife. You can use a utility knife, but it can be a little more difficult for this part. But you plunge your knife into the side, and then you can just wiggle to lift up the bark. You want a nice long tapered cut that ends pretty thin so that you can match up the cambium to just inside the bark that we pulled away here. And then I like to just take the little bit of bark off of the bottom so that it slips in easier. And you need only 2 or 3 buds. I'm going to leave this one just 2. So you cut right above the bud. And then you just insert your scionwood into the slip you've made. Once you've put your scionwood into the cuts that you've made, I'm going to tape it up. There are a lot of different options for taping your cuts, but something that's easy to come by is electrical tape. It works really well because it stretches so much. You do have to remove that after a year or so, though. This is just to hold the scionwood in place for the first year. You can use many different things to seal your cut, but today we're going to use exterior latex paint and Titebond 3, and you just put that on your cuts. You want to be sure to seal all the way to the edges. Most importantly, remember to seal the tips of your scionwood.
So is this product approved for organic certification?
This is not approved for organic certification, but by the time this graft heals over and this branch is grown and is making apples, this is no longer an issue.
So it
for
could
organics.
Be 3-4 years for production?
Yes, 3 or 4 years. You may get fruit sooner than 3 years, but you probably won't get a sizable crop.
Why 3? It's big.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put two pieces of scionwood in this other little branch, and then in the top one we'll put 3 pieces. The more in there, the faster the entire edge will heal over. And then you can select from those branches. And you want to make your cuts somewhere that there aren't knots, so that when you're putting the scionwood in, it's in a smooth section of bark. It also is much easier to graft into this smooth, vigorous young bark rather than into a larger piece that has that peely older bark. And when taping, you want your tape to start just below the bottom point of your cut, and you'll need it to go up until the top edge of the bark. And one last but very important step is to put a tag on your grafts so that you know what you have there. A piece of vinyl siding written on with pencil works pretty well.
All right, we've got a couple of products here that people have used in the past, and quick discussion on those. This is it's probably one of the oldest grafting waxes, Trowbridge's, made in Connecticut, still made today. It's very pliable now because it's over 70 degrees out. One objection to using this is it's really sticky, gets on your skin, so you're supposed to oil your hands, just vegetable oil, before you use this. This is an old can, so it's dried out, but it's a tar-like substance, and it is pretty easy to get all over your clothes. So some people don't like that. For that reason, it's messy. This is an alternative. This is just a toilet bowl wax gasket. And these are cheap, a couple bucks. Tape, we mentioned electrical tape. It's cheap, available. Here's some fancy tape, parafilm tape. It comes in different widths. It's got a good stretch to it, but it breaks pretty easily. And we did mention all those tapes need to be monitored the second year because you can get girdling where that graft will suddenly get so constricted that it blows out over time. Homemade tree labels, sure, this is vinyl siding. This has been recommended, just using a number 2 pencil. Don't smudge it, put it on there. And some kind of wire. You can use, this stuff is junk. It's jettisoned in most construction sites. So you got your one wire that's already stripped. You got ones that aren't. You don't have to strip the shielding off. And just cut it, put a hole in your label, stick it on there. And the label is really important because over time you're going to lose those. And the bigger and more visible they are, the better you'll be able to see them if they do fall down. All right, that's probably it today, folks. Have a good grafting session.